How's it going, guys? This is me, Biodome here, and I am playing Minecraft. So, contrary to popular belief, this is not the Binding of Isaac, the joke being that whenever I have not slept, that's the game I always record. So, we're playing Minecraft again. No, this hasn't been on my channel in a long time. I'll talk about that after we get into here, because it might take a long time to load in. We're playing that one, the one on the screen right now, because it didn't pop up like I thought it was going to. But, yeah, so we're gonna go, yeah. There you go. We're gonna create a new world. So, I had gotten bored. Like, the whole Minecraft thing had gotten so stale for me with the older series I was running. You do things, but we were trapped on an island and I couldn't travel anywhere because I couldn't take anything with me, and there were no, I just hit the pop filter on my microphone and there was no nodes, and it was not going well. I had a lot of the one Minecraft series where I had the chemistry craft or whatever, that I spent like 100 episodes just mixing chemicals together. That was the whole episode, and yeah, that was some awesome stellar gameplay here. It's gonna load, so I have a lot of things to talk about, and I'm not using Optifine for once, because you would think, okay, I'm gonna go on a rant here for a second before we get into the game, and you can look around, you can be like, whoa, what is all this stuff that's not actually even loading? Oh, that's right. I can't control the zoom because fucking... I'll get to that in a second. You would think a mod that's been along as long as Optifine. So, I started up using Optifine in beta 1.7.3 of Minecraft. That was a fucking long time ago. You would think by now, people who make mods were like, oh hey, there's this thing that's been around forever that improves the game. Maybe we should make mods that work with it. I don't know. Like, sure, if you make a mod and your intention is to make it work with it, fine, and it doesn't come out in the end. But there are people, like the fucking people who made Pixelmon for the longest goddamn time, made it without caring about Optifine, and they finally fixed that, which God thank for that. You would think that by now they'd be like, oh hey, we should make our mod so that it works with Optifine. Nope, apparently none of them, apparently like half the mods in this pack don't work with Optifine. There you saw there was like 96. I know at least like 15 that are in here that do, but you do, and then there's no textures on any of the blocks, and you're just floating in space, and then you get to the ground, and then you play for like 5 minutes, and then it crashes. And rinse and repeat. You play for 5 minutes and it crashes. I don't know why it gives you 2 of these quest books, but so I'm playing that mod pack, the one on the screen right now. I'll get into this. Mirabelle Hackett. Just step into one of these pods to get started. If you're on a team, make sure to drop a pod in the same as our team. Alright. Which one? Alright. Pod Alpha is headed to what used to be a fertile grassland. It's probably the easiest place to get started. Beta heads to the savannah, which is only a little more difficult. Gamma puts you in some clay arches. Delta drops you off in a taiga. Epsilon puts you in the middle of the desert. Omega is by far the hardest and drops you off in the biodome under the ocean. If you're alone, go with Pod Alpha. If you're venturing with others, you have to form teams. Each zone has arable land to support 3 people or so. If you have more than that, you'll have to discuss amongst yourself who gets which pod. Any advice? Well, see, don't bother. Hunger is going to be a bit problem. Try not to run or jump. Instead, conserve energy if you mine deep. Purple biomass will hurt you if you step on it, but not kill you if you stay well fed. Make sure you go on scouting expeditions to impress the leadership. You can use that goodwill to requisition food later if you get in a tight spot. Seriously, we expect you to ask for food. There's no shame in that. Speaking of that, don't forget to ask yourself for seeds whenever possible. You need to keep your diet varied. 2 stacks of bread does not a healthy diet make. Driscoll seeds will help with that. Okay, bye. I tested it out beforehand. So, that being said, I have lost all of my options because I had to go with Thaumcraft, which is, it does the same thing as Optifine, except it's like half of what Optifine is. It's literally like half of what Optifine is. So it may seem a little choppier than the usual. But, drop pod Alpha. You will be assigned to Team Alpha. Blah, 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 blah. Yours. Team will sent to the most arable biodome close to the center of the continent. Central location will make it an exploration quest much easier. Alien ores under... Make it easier. Just whenever feed. Yes, I do. Well, initiating transport sequence. So I'm using Thaumcraft. So it may seem a little jumpy, and I have no control zoom in thing, and let it just load in here right quick. Alright, and we're gonna sleep. So, that being said, so this is the pack revolved around, oh, there's the, I want to say it's BlightCraft, but I'm Blight something, so it's around, if you've never used that mod before, it's centered around the Blight, which is the purple grass that hurts you. The story with this thing right here, you'll find out later when I start reading the books. It keeps this area clean of it because that's a rare tree or something. So, mods that I've added, open blocks, Thaumcraft, vein miner, which doesn't seem to work with the mods for some reason. Like I can't chop down like regular trees if I went into creative and stuff. So I kind of just took it out because it was, you know, not doing much. So, domination with open blocks. Ooh, fancy. Alright, so okay, I was reading this earlier because I was testing it out. The text is a little messed up. I don't know why, but no matter what texture pack I used, surprisingly this pack doesn't come with one, so I'm using the task pack Please Ignore texture pack, which is another pack on the AT launcher, which is where you can get this from. I'll have the link to the description for all that stuff down below. It looked like a perfect planet, smack in the Goldilocks zone, full of minerals, even complete with pre-existing plant and animal life. When the scientists at Space Command saw the scan results, their jaws hit the floor. Plans to make a colony ship started that day. 4 years later, the starship Jaded set out on her maiden journey. I don't know if that's a pun or not. The starship being named Jaded, but now that we've arrived, it's clear that things are not as they first appeared. A seething, teeming purple biomass, BlightFall. There, that's what it was called. Covers the surface, spewing forth malign alien entities that cruelly murder the initial scouts. We aren't sure if the scans were wrong, if something happened in the few years it took to warp here, or if Space Command was just lying to us. But this is not the paradise we were promised. We are leaving the rest of the colonists in cryostasis for now, sending you down to the surface as our last attempt before giving up and taking the Jaded and our colonists back to the home world. We've got little to offer you besides a giant glass bio shelter to keep the aliens out. Resources are limited, and we're only willing to invest so much more into what will probably be a failed expedition. But if you are resourceful and lucky, perhaps you can find a way to make this colony work after all. Alright, so what we have here, hopefully none of that stuff is going down. You know, whatever. So you do quests, and this goes up and down, lives, stuff like that. Alright, click here to show quests. Hello, my name is Dr. Fairchild, and I've been instructed to, well, instruct you. My tasks will teach you the basics of how to survive on this hostile alien planet. They should be easy to complete and give you a good foundation for further exploration. Alright, the instructor. Oh, here we go. What is this thing? What is this thing? The device, in addition to letting you communicate with the leadership of the Jaded, that's weird wording, can also transmit items to us by breaking them down into data and beaming them to us. Star Trek style. You can also receive items from us in the same way. It's technology based on the AMI networks, but more limited. Try sending us a dirt block by breaking one nearby. Returning to this menu and clicking the manual submit button you will see in the lower part of the screen. Please also note, if you ever lose this book, you can craft a new one out of a blank pattern, either charcoal or coal. Alright. So, let's break a piece of dirt. Pop, pop. That was odd. The book just shifted in my inventory and hit manual submit. And there's supposed to be music playing, but it was extremely loud, so I tried to turn it down, and apparently as soon as you do that, it just makes it silent. So, alright, and then, oh, mission outlook, +1! There it is! I guess I didn't click the right button. Alright, so, requisitioning items. You are going to want to see your mission requisition officer, Corporal Driscoll. He'll, I assume, give you items to help you in your mission. Using the same interface you used here, why don't you ask for an extra life? Right-click until you get to the crew menu and click on the supplier to enter Driscoll's menu, buy an extra life from him, and show and yawn it to me, and I'll tell you what to do next. Alright. So, no. So this button's kind of small on the side there. So, back. So now the supplier. I'm Corporal Driscoll. I manage the stock and inventory of this operation. If you need any supplies, feel free to ask. Just remember, the more you take, the more concerned the leadership will be about your progress. Right, and so that's the whole thing about trying to balance what you ask for and how much stuff you can do on your own. Also, dying apparently puts that down too, and if you die too many times, you have to restart because they give up as the whole thing is going. Request extra life. On board the Jaded, we have limited, as the fan on my laptop kicks on, we have limited medical or cloning technology. If you die, we can resuscitate you from backup data, but if you die too often, we'll pull the plug on your project and bring you home. That's what I was just talking about. By completing quests for the leadership of the Jaded, you can prove the project is viable. Every time you ask for a clone, however, the leadership becomes more concerned about your ability to make this project work. Just click complete quest and I'll send you a heart token. After showing it to the instructor, right-click it in your hand to add it to your clone count. Alright, so right now I have a +1, and now I have a -9, because that shows you it'll give you a -10. So now we go back in here, and we go back, and the instructor. Open, no, go back. I go claim reward. And so the reward there. Bone meal. Alright. So, getting wood. As you probably heard, the planet is mostly covered by poisonous, hostile purple biomass. We dropped you in one of the few spots that seem safe. I think it has something to do with that silver tree in the center of your containment area, which I talked about earlier. Better not chop it down. It could be disastrous. Instead, get a sampling from Bristol. Use the bone meal to give it to grow it, and use its wood to start crafting. Alright. Back to... No. This guy. Alright. Complete sapling. Press starting sapling. I have an apple oak sapling straight from the homeworld you can have. This one won't cost you any goodwill because we can't reasonably expect you to start a colony without giving you a tree. After that, if you want to dig deeper into our emergency agricultural supply, it'll come to the attention of the leadership. So try not to ask for too much. Alright. Yep, so there's nothing here. So if you may request this resource if the mission outlook is not near cancellation, which is way down there. Alright. So, time to plant this sapling. I'll plant it right here. So, I'm going to go over this really quickly. This is the transporter beacon. If you right click on it, you can transport to Biodome. Alpha is now unlocked. So you can travel to the mothership. I guess in theory. That was really loud.